here for our spaces today and dig into some statistics about on-chain gaming, and also asked Bogdan to do it, and we both failed. So I think that in general, this direction is pretty new, and I'm hearing from mostly from VCs that they're very interested in fully on-chain gaming specifically. So yeah, let's see what directions does it have, what problems does it solve, or what is the most interesting stuff we can chat about. And before we start and go to the questions, guys, please introduce yourself. Let us start from Planet Nine. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, well, my name is Rasmus. I'm CMO over at Planet 9X or Planet 9. People say it differently all the time, and I'd say that
Yeah,
both things are very fine. Um, so yeah, but we've been on chain for a game for 2 years now, almost. In November, we're coming up on 2 years that we've been fully on chain, and Planet 9X is play to earn strategy based NFT game. And we have a lot of different NFTs that you can use in a variety of ways. And there's all kinds of paths that you can choose when you play the game, from farming to burning things, to making new things, to combining things, and all of it kind of rewards you at our DeFi or gamify stage, where you're able to stake a lot of different assets from the game to earn IXT as a reward. And IXT is the token or utility token that powers the whole ecosystem. It's a deflationary asset. Since we're burning it, you used it for fees in a lot of places in the game, and to trade everything with. And so we burn on a monthly basis a lot of IXT. So over time there will be less of these, and hopefully also way more utility. We are constantly adding more. This is what also makes the strategy part pretty interesting, in that it's a pretty dynamic game. You can take a lot of ways, and things change, and you always have new paths that you can go to maximize your earnings potential on it. And on top of this, we have just started building our next layer to the game, which is esports arena for competitive gameplay, and we're very excited to see that roll out in the coming future as part of our ecosystem. We've been the biggest game on Polygon in terms of users, kind of consistently. We have some nice games also that we're battling it once in a while, but we've been pretty steady in the top there for the 2 years we've been on chain. So yeah, we have a lot of experiences in the bag, and we've been building a lot during this bear market.
awesome. Really great to hear. Thanks for the intro. And I think that one of the rarest traits of blockchain games is stability. So very few games has stable user growth or stable daily active user amount. So yeah, well done, guys. And I also know that you are having your airdrop ongoing, right? So
Yeah, that's true. We have this happening, been going for a little bit. You can by learning to play the game better, you can also increase your allocation of our IXT airdrop. And so we're airdropping a lot of tokens. There's 1 million retrospectively, and 4 million for everyone's farming now. And that's a lot of tokens. And I think that's going to be nice to hold in the next bull run. So if you go to planix.com, you can pretty easily get to the airdrop page, and you can find out what kind of tasks you can perform to increase your points to earn a higher allocation.
got it. Yes, thank you for an explanation. So yeah, dear listeners, please hop to their website and position yourself properly for the future bull run. Alex, please tell us about Footprint.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Alex. I'm the head of community and BD over here at Footprint. And in case you don't know what Footprint's about, Footprint is a blockchain data solutions platform that combines Web 2 and Web 3 data via abstraction. So that means you can combine your Web 2 data and combine it real time with on-chain data to do some really cool, get some really cool insights. We currently cover 27 chains We have over 1.8 million NFT collections. We're the most comprehensive GameFi infra right now, and we got a bit of DeFi as well. We kind of cover all the bases. So if you want to check us out, we go to footprint.network. You can check out our our research page and really kind of get in the know, whether it be on-chain research, GameFi research, NFT research, whatever you're really into. Footprint's got the data. Footprint's got the insights. And also wanted to give a big shout out to Planet 9, one of our best partners, literally utilizing pretty much every single aspect that you can with Footprint, which is amazing. So definitely go check out the Planet 9 dashboard on Footprint. And yeah, with that being said, I'm happy to be here. And let me know if I got a little bit of background noise. It's a little bit noisy where I am right now. So if it's a little loud, let me know, and I'll go somewhere a little bit quieter. But other than that, thanks for inviting me up here, Vitalis. We love the boys at Ladder Top. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And no problem with your sound. I mean, it is not loud, connection is good, so you're lucky. You must be having best VPN in China. Shrug, how are you? Are you back from your trip?
Oh, almost. I just arrived at the lobby. So yeah, after the talk, I will take the lift. Yeah, so glad to be
Thank
here
you.
and talk to you, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Thank you for finding the time while you're traveling. Will you give us a bit of information about Double and what are you guys building?
Yeah, sure. So this is Shrug, the founder of DoubleProtocol. DoubleProtocol is an NFT rental protocol. So we mainly help like the metaverse projects, like the GameFi projects, to make their NFTs rentable. And we authored the rental NFT standard, ERC 4907. It's a 30th ERC standard approved by Ethereum Foundation as a final status. So currently, we have more than 1,300 NFT collections already adopted this standard, and majority have games. Yeah. And about this topic, the fully on-chain games, I'm really a big fan of fully on-chain games. During DeFi summer, it's a very, very early stage of fully on-chain games. I played Dark Forest. I don't remember which round, maybe round 4 or maybe earlier. Yeah. And I'm also a fan of Loot. Early holder of Loot and lose a lot of Loot, but I still hold Loot, Yeah. Okay, I think that's
All right.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much for your intro. Yeah, so we have amazing speakers today, and getting back to the topic and to questions. Oh, by the way, let me give also a brief introduction of Ladder, not to miss this part as well. So I'm co-founder of Ladder, and Ladder is an automated market maker for NFTs. So basically, we're building something like Uniswap, but for NFTs and focused on GameFi. Our thesis is simple that right now, GameFi NFTs assets are like probably 5% of all NFTs trading volumes, and the market is dominated by PFPs and art. But we believe that in it's a matter of like 2, 3, or 4, or maybe even 5 years when GameFi is going to be much bigger as an industry, and therefore volumes for GameFi items are going to be also exponentially bigger. So we're positioning ourselves for the future industry growth. And yeah, right now we're finishing our testnet phase, launching on the mainnet in September, and also having some slow airdrop ongoing, so you can check our website and see what's happening. Okay, guys, so yeah, I have several questions prepared to discuss with you. And probably first and the most important, Alex, do I search it not really well? What is the problem? Why there is no aggregated information about on-chain games, like some industry overview or something like that? Is it because industry is so like unmature, or there are some other reasons behind it?
Well, I mean, we actually have a pretty good general overview of the GameFi industry right now. You can check it out on our website. Go to
Yeah,
footprint.network. Oh yeah,
GameFi in
we
general, yes, agree. But like fully on-chain games is something that should be a different category, and I failed to find anything.
well. Did you check out our top games? We have like some really good like fully on-chain games that are under like hot games on Ethereum, hot games on BNB, straight on the research page. Like if you go check that out, you really can get a full overview of kind of like the market, the transactions, the daily active users, and just overall top games. I feel like that's what people really care about right now is finding just a fun game, right? So you can go to the research page, find these hot games, and then not only that, but you can actually check out the retention rate for these games. I love retention rate. Every time I'm in a space talking about on-chain games, I love talking about retention rate. Why? Because it tells me if a game is fun or not without having to set up my wallet, without having to download the app, without having to spend all this time actually getting set up playing the game. I just look at a retention rate and it'll tell me if it's fun or not, right? Because if someone's playing week after week after week, well, clearly the game is fun or they're making a ton of money.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Of course, from consumer perspective, 100% totally agree with you. Yeah, got it. Probably I can give a brief introduction for listeners about like basically blockchain gaming and types and what is fully on-chain games in general. So I think that we can, again, I wouldn't call myself an expert and everything is very new, but I think that we can separate it into three categories. So first category is like some having some means and items that are not really integrated into the game. It's more like character assets, where users can mean these character assets or other assets and trade. But it's not integrated to the game. The second time that probably the most common right now is uh, on-chain assets. So when game is basically mostly off-chain, but it has on-chain assets where assets are tradable, stored on-chain. I think that that's the most popular category right now. And
I would
basically,
agree, actually.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like a lot of games right now are coming out, and I wouldn't even consider them fully on chain, right? A lot of games, especially since it's so early stage, they're more like Web 2.5, right? Where they're adding some on chain aspects, but really it's super early, and you guys all know, right? Everyone here listening knows it's hard already to make a fun game, and then adding it on chain is even harder, right? So it having the Web 2.5 as it is right now, I think is a great first step for the evolution of on-chain gaming. Right? It's a great stepping stone, great way to get users toes in the water, right? Getting their little toes in the water to get kind of into actual gaming on chain, right? And I think as we go on, like you're saying, as the years go on, we'll see a lot more and more integrations on chain. But I think right now it's just all about time, right? Because we can't just make a great game overnight.
yeah, absolutely. I think that transition and basically development should be smooth, and there is no need to invent bicycle and no need to build on-chain game just to be on-chain. Yeah, it should be just for the users. And so basically, the third type that we are speaking and going to discuss today is fully on-chain game. It means that when there are not only on-chain assets, but the game itself and game mechanics is also happening on the chain. And so starting with very general but very important question, do you guys think that games should be on-chain? I think Mike for Planet 9.
You think? Do you mind repeating that, Vitalis? If I think.
Yeah, sure, sure. So just asking, do you think that games should be fully on chain?
Yeah, I mean, there's both pros and cons with it. I don't foresee a future where every aspect of it where it's fully on chain. I mean, we are to a large extent actually fully on chain, and we've been extremely happy with this from like a more of like a Web3 ethos kind of approach. That was something that was very important for us when we launched and we built out the game, was to try like how do we improve the space as much as possible and kind of push forward in in both making new use cases, but also, you know, showing the way in how you can actually use like the whole fully decentralized way of things on in Web3. And um and that has been a good a good thing from that aspect. Also, in terms of a lot of partnerships that we've been able to foster, utilizing interesting projects, new things they build. Also, just like working with Footprint has been really nice because we have so much data on chain that it looks amazing what they create for us, and it's nice for us to see this also. Um, but we have had talks like of bringing certain things off chain that are not maybe essential to the decentralized part, simply just to have users have a more seamless experience or less gas. I mean, we are on Polygon and it's been great to launch there, but when we see a lot of usage or other projects are also being active when we are, then it gets a little too expensive on the gas, and that's one of the reasons we during this year we saw a drop at one point in our like stable user base, and that was to a large extent because fees spiked for some months early this year on Polygon. I think everyone who has the project on Polygon remembers. Um, that was just very hard to have a play to earn game there, and a lot of our users were reporting like it's just like I'm gonna take a break playing just because the gas fees are just too much. So I think it's a very long answer to a very short question, Vitalis, but I think it will be a mixed thing in the future for sure.
There you go. I think that yeah, this question supposed to have short reply because very general, and you had amazing long journey, so it's very insightful. Frak, what do you think? Like, shall games be fully on chain? Are we going to have it in the future? Yeah, just share your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion, of course it depends, especially for current situation, for current the infra, because some infra they can support all the fully on chain, all the games to make them fully on chain. But from my perspective, I put more attention to fully on chain games now, and I think maybe in the future all the games will convert to fully on chain games. Just like there is a period we have tried, the industry has tried the private chain and the public chain, and finally it proves only public chain. And only it can release the magic of blockchain, of crypto space. Yeah. And for the fully on-chain games, it's a new species in this world. It never existed before. It's not like the Web 2.5 game, just make the asset as an NFT. But there are many Web 2 games you can already trade the in-game asset. Yeah. So I can't see too many difference between them. Maybe it's easier to speculate, but that's not enough. If you want to make a new game, which is a new species in the world, I believe it is fully on-chain game.
Got it. That's interesting opinion. And judging by like renting, judging by your own protocol, is it represented mostly by art and PFPs? Do you have any share of gaming? And what is the share of gaming if it's not secret?
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Your question?
Yeah, sure. If you're speaking about double protocol, like,
Yeah.
what is the share of gaming in lending, renting market, or it is absolutely neglectable?
Yeah. So it's only for double, right? Yeah, and for double, the majority. I mean, you can take maybe 100% from gaming and metaverse. Yeah, and there's another word I like, and that's why I like folding on-chain games. Yeah, when I talk to some new people in this space, they don't know this concept, this term before. I will use another word to explain folding on-chain games, which is backend metaverse. Backend metaverse. We have talked metaverse for a long time, but it's only about front end. So like decentralized sandbox, you can find the composability of front end, but not back end. But blockchain is for back end. It's a tech for back end. So as for the back end metaverse, which is fully on-chain games. Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. I already know who is going to be main speaker for my infrastructure question next, but Alex, what is your point?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of, echo what Planet Nine was saying, where, right now as it stands, we don't really need every single, part of the game to be on chain, right? Just like the me- the aspects that people really care about, right? Like ownership of your assets in game, say your character, your skins, your NFTs that affect the game, but also, like I'd love to see, more kind of on-chain battle passes. I think this is a great way to retain or get player retention. Is have some on-chain battle passes. I think that's a great way to get people, come by, do your transactions, get your transactions up, get your numbers up. No, and not only that, but get your time on the protocol up as well. Not just daily quests, but actual things that people need to work towards and can level up towards. I think, but like straight up mechanics and gameplay mechanics, like Plan 9 was saying, like we don't, if users don't need to spend gas fees, why make them spend gas fees when they don't need to, right? But there are certain aspects of the game that would really benefit from being on chain, but really as it stands right now, not everything needs to be fully on chain. That's just kind of like how I'm thinking about things right now. And thinking about it as a gamer, if I have to pay gas fees for every little single thing that I do, it's just kind of a little bit of a turnoff, right? So maybe just leave it to the important things that really highlight the benefits of a game being on chain, in comparison to saying everything being on chain.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Imagine playing Grand Theft Auto and paying gas fees when you interact with every NPC character in the game. It will be very funny, and no, it won't work anyway. So yeah, I totally understand the point, but probably on-chain gaming in general is a bit visionary because there are not a lot of very strong advantages comparing to current games, Web2 games, but just core philosophy of owning your assets and of transferring more into metaverse or interoperability perspective. All the stuff is more about future, but it is still very important.
Right, and with the rise of ZK and like optimistic rollups, I really think then we can see more on-chain activities where we have faster transactions for lower fees. Like absolutely, we can start adding more things, but it's still very early in the ZK scene for things to kind of be adopted this way. So as it stands right now, okay, it's like yeah, but as the zero knowledge layer twos come out, like we'll see a lot more innovation.
All right, basically you're touching my next question. So I wanted to ask guys, like we see a lot of games that are using certain blockchain infra, and some of them are building infras themselves. And what do you think about ZK rollups, and what is going to be their role in that? And also, you mentioned about Planet Nine that when Polygon had gas fee spike, basically game became much less usable, Like, yeah, what do you think about ZK rollups, and what's basically technical overview of this aspect? What choices are you facing with in the game? Planet 9, please.
I mean, so we're kind of following to see what is going to happen with the CK rollups. I think it is definitely the most obvious solution right now for Polygon in terms of making it more easy for games to really scale there. But I think we're just watching to see overall what's happening in the space. You know, we've got a lot of interest from other chains and also to build out our game there. So I think right now we're kind of waiting to see while we're building. We're considering like what is the best future for us going forward. And there's a lot of times when people say like yeah, there's no fees here, basically no fees on this chain or that chain, you do this and that, but that's often only until you stress test it, and then you find out if there is or not. And it was the same thing when we launched on Polygon. We were like, you know, we were told like, yeah, this is going to be no problem, and then we started minting all the picks that makes up the main game, and it just stopped the chain completely. So we had to go back and make a Merkle tree and do all kinds of changes, you know. So, and I know from others that deployed on other chains also that they were also promised like, yeah, there's no fees, like it's all super great, we have the best tech in the world, and then they launched, it's like, boom, you know. So it's, I mean, a lot of, but that's with everything, right? You know, I mean, it all looks great on paper, and then you put it out into the world, and then the internet fucks it up.
Yeah, if every time you're hearing a pitch that hey, we're building layer one blockchain with limitless scalability,
Yeah.
you can just run.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a great, I mean, 100% everyone has the best interest and they thought about everything, you know, but it's like, but that's with everything. You can have a really fancy education, but once you get into the real world, it's very much not what you think it is. So I think that's just the way of life, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the way of life. Totally agree. Thanks for your reply. Shrag, I had an impression that you have good infrastructure knowledge. Please confirm or not, and please share your perspective.
Yeah, actually, I'm not an infra expert for sure. Yeah, but I know a little bit, and I think maybe something is coming, and it's different from what we think. We can say something different, like OP stack, Arbitrum Orbit, and ZK Sync, the ZK stack of their building. So I personally predict maybe in 1 year there will be more than 1,000 rollups, and I don't mean the random rollups. I mean the rollups we know their names. They have good backgrounds like Gitcoin's rollup and many game application chains. They will come, and also for another chain is for modular blockchain. So it's easier to upgrade the node. So you can add some specific features there, like what the word engine by Argus and the Keystone by Curial, what they are doing. Like, you know, for every game, we have a special feature which EVM doesn't support. It's called game take, the game loop. Yeah. If you want to have a new loop, you need to execute on-chain transaction, one more transaction, which we suggest. So what if we modify the blockchain layer and add the game take there, so you don't need to do anything. It can automatically go to the next loop. That's what others Word Engine and the Keystone already have done. So I think with the infra upgrading, we can see many new features, and with the new features, last month when I was in Paris during the modular blockchain, I can see 40 Games is their best example, because with these new features, who need it? Who need it for this infra? 40 games. And we can see the gas fee is a lot lower, especially with the layer 3. You can deploy the layer 3 chain based on the layer 2. The gas fee is lower, and with the account abstraction, and even another one, the original name is called burner wallet. So people just use the wallet to play the game. So with such infra, I think it will be different. We can see something different. Maybe it can support all the games, but it will support many games beyond our expectation. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Nice, nice. And you were telling us that you don't have good understanding, infrastructure understanding. I think that's yeah, that's a very good perspective that you shared with us.
Thank you, thank you.
I mean, easy to understand, but not detailed. All right, Alex, do you have something to add into this conversation?
Yeah, I think ZK rollups are really hot, right? We're seeing a ton of layer twos come out with either being like an optimistic rollup or a ZK rollup. I think what's really going to be the differentiator is not actually the tech itself, but more so the boys doing the business development, right? It's more of what is the game looking for? How can we benefit you to build on top of our chain, right? Because at the same, eventually it's going to be at a point where all these L2s, even L3s, is going to be like kind of the same shit, different pile, right? So I think the huge differentiator between this is actually just going to be really the boys doing the business development, right, and showing the benefits of these chains, right? Because eventually, there's going to be you're going to have options to choose from 20, 30, 50, 100 different gaming focused L2s, right? But really the big differentiator is going to be the boys that are selling it, the boys that are going, or the girls that are that are just showing the benefits, right? And how they're showing the benefits, right? So I think really that's going to be the main differentiator between all these different
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Optimist or these zero knowledge protocol or protocols chains coming out here. So really, like, yeah, it's all about who's hiring the best BD.
That's interesting perspective. But by the way, like our vision in Ladder, I would say that your point is very controversial. However, at Ladder, basically what we're doing, and in terms of volumes, that is not a lot of things that you can look for as an AMM. However, if you're building great infrastructure in terms of partnerships, it means that you have great advantage in terms of comparing to competitors for the hotel market. So basically, that's what we are doing. Yeah, Shrek, please.
Yeah, I totally agree what Alex has mentioned. Yeah, I think BD is important. Yeah, our BD is also here at the space. Sanjay is also here. BD is important, but I want to say there are two ways to grow your ecosystem, and we can see that the first way is BD. Everybody knows it, so we can see the success for Polygon. But another way we need to say is for Ethereum. Yeah, it's a different way. So they don't have many BDs. They won't BD you. Oh, come on, just deploy on Ethereum. No, they won't do it. What did they do? They created something new, and it's really useful. As for the developers, they really need it, and they think it is good. Yeah, and that we can see what is MUD doing. MUD, the latest team. So they build previously they want to build the 40-engine game, but finally they realized, oh, it's not enough. We need the infra, so they tried to build the game engine. It's called MUD, MUD. So MUD is like they use the like ECS, and they have many codes, so you can just use that. It will lower the barrier to build the 40-engine game. And as for some maybe PFP project, it's very easy for them to have a 40-engine games in 1 year. I think it will come soon. And also for Dojo is similar to MUD, but it's in the Starknet ecosystem. So it's used the Carol. It used the coding language Carol, but the same purpose. Yeah, and we can see 2 to 3 months ago, more than 400 developers join the model ecosystem to develop more than 100 games. Yeah, for Hexen, and beyond that, more and more. Just build on top of model ecosystem, more than 100 games for sure. It's not for BD. It's a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also fair perspective and absolutely fair point. I agree that, yeah, basically all aspects are important, and BD is one part of the business, and the dev is another part of the business, and the same as in life, you have different spheres, and to be successful or like be happy, the same as project, you should just take care about everything. You cannot. Avoid BD or you cannot avoid dev because it's your product. Yeah. All right, Alex, I see that you have to go. Want to say bye-bye to our listeners?
Yeah, it's getting a little late on my end. So I just want to say thanks for bringing me up here. I love talking about this topic. Yeah, just check out Footprint.network. And if you're in Toku 2049, catch me on stage. I'm doing one of the judges for the Web3 Gaming Hackathon. So be sure to check that out. You can see some good games that are coming out. And yeah, thanks again, you guys. Feel free to invite me for more spaces. Like I said, it's getting a little late, about 11:30 my time. So with that being said, thanks again, and we'll catch you next time, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining, and can't wait to see you in person in Singapore very soon. Bye-bye. Have a good night. All right, so Alex went to his bed, and we can continue discussion. Yeah, Shrag, I just wanted to ask you. You mentioned that that it's just 1 year, and we will see like thousands of rollups. Why are you so specific about date? What is the main problem right now? Why you want to see thousands of rollups in a week, for example?
Uh, Definitely, it's just a number. I think it's not like what I did a lot of research and
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
there
I
are
understand.
what's all yeah, yeah. So first, I think because the infra it's really useful now. Our developers team have already tried it, so we have no knowledge for chains before because we merely code Solidity and build some protocols before. But for such a no knowledge team, we spent I think less than 2 weeks to deploy a new chain, and it works really well on test night. And then we spent another 1 week to deploy the Arbitrum Orbit chain. It also works well. Yeah. So I think as for the typical developers team in crypto, they can do it very, very easy. That's a big change. That's really a big change, and the cost is not high, especially for Arbitrum Orbit. There's a key difference between Arbitrum Orbit and OP Stack. If as a full application chain, maybe you don't have the all day active users, but with the OP Stack, you need to send the call date, send the date to the layer one every like 3 minutes or 15 minutes like that. You can set that the period it will cost a gas even there's no transaction on your chain on your rollup. But as for Orbit, it saved a lot. If there's no transaction, you don't need to send the call date. Yeah. So the cost is really low now. And secondly, we always talk, why can't we build such application? Because the infra doesn't support it. So what about like upgrade the infra? Like what I mentioned, adding the game take to the chain layer. Yeah, we can do it now. And a lot of things it's just for game. We like if we need the RWA chain, can we do like something like a KYC on the chain layer? I know it's not a good thing. I don't like such feature, but you can do it now. Yeah, it's a big difference. and won't cost too much.
On-chain KYC, is that what we've been waiting for all these years?
Yeah, so we can see many new attacks, new experiments there soon.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. I think that the case is also a very important step for probably some balance between privacy and KYC standards. So getting closer to Web2 world, very likely it is kind of inevitable. So it is as it is. All right, getting to our next question. What do you guys think? What genre do you think that most appropriate for fully on-chain games? Planet Nine, would you like to take the lead of it?
Yeah, for sure. Can you repeat it again, Vitalis? In terms of
Yeah,
on-chain
sure.
games.
Sure. By the way, is my microphone sound fine or something is wrong with it?
No, it's fine. I think it's just my earpods are acting up a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit today.
Got it. No worries. So yeah, what genre do you think most appropriate for fully on-chain games?
What general, or what do you say? I don't think I
Yeah,
understand.
general like strategy and more RPG and
genre. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one is the most popular currently, or which one will be the most popular?
I think not popular, but appropriate. Like just what makes more sense to build fully on-chain.
I mean, I think any game makes sense to build on chain. Maybe not fully on chain. Any game in terms of having the ability for true ownership is I think 100% the way we should go. And I'm actually surprised that gamers and streamers and such are not pushing more on it. I mean, the more they push, the more the big Web2 companies will have to act faster. I do, however, think that it will probably only be a matter of time before we see the first like big game studios start to dip their toes. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work. You know, how is that going to be when they come in? Do we need to be very careful of keeping all the the values intact for decentralization? There certainly was some 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 concern when some of the bigger companies wanted to go into NFTs, like, and also there was Meta, Facebook was looking into their own token and all this. I mean, what is a little scary is that if we don't in this space manage to build out a sufficient model for that works, and we let only the big companies come in and dictate, then that's not the best for the user. But yeah, now I'm derailing a little bit on the question again. But I think, sorry, I think any game will be good on chain. I think right now what makes the most sense is definitely play to earn. As an aspect, is that is harder the less you're off chain or regular Web2.
Got it. I see. I think that I'm not fully agree that every game can go, I mean, fully on chain. Because if we're speaking about partially, like for the assets, yes, that's always a good way, but it should not be complicated for users. And I think that right now level of infrastructure is not so high. Yeah, but still, track. What do you think? What type of games are best appropriate?
Currently, I can say which one is most appropriate. Yeah, but I can see what is happening now. So most of the fully on-chain games are like SLG games, and people can build like some FPS games now. FPS games are not suitable for now, but SLG games are good. So like Dark Forest is kind of SLG games. Yeah, and what Mata is doing, this guy is Strival. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name clear. Yeah. So there are many kind of SLG games now. It's because it's not like a wrong game. You don't need to wait, and you don't expect the speed to be too fast. Yeah. And people care about the asset, care about the number of the game, the number inside the game. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. But basically, I think that you were mentioning, Klaus, that games with important role of economy is probably also very close candidate because it has a lot of benefits of having all the assets fully on chain. And by the way, we mentioned earlier the question why streamers and gamers aren't pushing it forward. And I think that the main reason because they just don't have a reason. I mean, uh, if we would see some very big precedent of streamers losing their assets, getting banned, or something like that, and that's the way. That's almost the only way how we can get resonance for on-chain gaming, I suppose. And very likely it's just a matter of time when it happened because companies are constantly banning players, and some of them can lose their very valuable assets for, I don't know, some inappropriate speech in game. And it's open question: is it fair or not fair? But anyway, having sometimes hundreds of hours or even over thousands of hours of play and getting some assets and then losing it all, that's very, very harsh and too much power in central asset.
I think
Yeah.
I think just to answer that, Vitalis, is like what I meant with that was also that I'm surprised that the Web2 users who are very popular, you know, the streamers, the gamers, the big gamers, that they are not doing it more. I understand that it's of course also probably because they're on big sponsorships and such, that they should be able to put some pressure on the gaming studios, you know, that they are interested in this. If you're a big streamer and you're popular and such, it's certainly more valuable to you if you are able to have true ownership. And once enough people start understanding that, they will want to push for it, and then sooner or later, some of that will become the norm. And it's just a matter of how long it takes. And I think that's the same also with the, you know, in terms of on-chain gaming. Of course, that is not very possible right now. I mean, we are even set up for it, and it's still difficult for us. But if you look to the future, like I think it's also just a matter of time before some infrastructure will be built out and everything is running on chain, but you're not noticing it. So it comes down a lot to how is the touch points with it for users. But I 100% agree that right now that it's definitely not it's definitely not ideal. Is maybe the way to say that.
Yeah, totally agree. This experience should be seamless for users, especially if we want to onboard a new wave from Web2. By the way, what do you think about Planet
Yeah.
9? What is the deadline like? How long will it take to build this sort of seamless onboarding experience?
To what you have now in Web 2?
To onboard users so they won't even know that they are using some crypto stuff. Like,
I
hey
get
guys, here's
I
the
guess
assets.
I guess it depends on the cutoff point of when it happens that they go in, right? Because what we're looking to do with the arena that we're building is to have people be able to play it without needing to go on chain or have a wallet or anything. But once you then win something, you can play for free and anything. But if you place in these tournaments and you can win something, then you're faced with needing to go, you know, and get a wallet and get on. And so, at least for now, our solution to this is okay, but can we incentivize the user enough to want to learn how to do it? And that is maybe then you can probably bridge them. If they're incentivized enough, they will learn faster. But like a really seamless experience of playing game without feeling like you're on chain is probably still a few years into the future. But sometimes the space moves fast, so who knows?
Yeah, indeed. Who knows? Hopefully, and that's exactly a matter of this dev part and infrastructure that we are speaking about. We want help with this aspect. All right, and let's go to our last question before wrapping up. And I think that we might get some questions from the audience. I see that we had a couple of speaking requests during our session. So, guys, you'll have your opportunity. And the last question is very simple. So, what do you think? What is the role of user-generated content in building games? Because everybody is speaking about community, yes, community, but what is the role of user-generated content? And do you have something to simulate it? And probably what is the share? And do you expect having this role increase or decrease in future? Would like to hear Planet Nine opinion on that.
Sorry, my headphones were doing something weird again. Can you repeat the question again, Vitalis?
Yes, sure. Asking about user-generated content. What is the role and what is your perspective? Whether we have increasing its role increase in future or vice versa decrease, and probably depends on the market, like bull market, bear market. Yeah, just share your perspective.
In terms of user-generated content being used in the game, or?
Yeah, and its role in marketing, development, and growth.
I mean, so we have someone employed that connects really close with the community, and we have a lot of people who play together or who get together in groups or online or in the real world, and they have a lot of energy pent up in those communities, and it can be difficult to find a way to channel that energy if it be not only ranting in Discord or Telegram or something. So we hired one specifically for trying to harness all this energy and good intentions that's in the community, and to try to work with them to both provide more value for them and to help them also direct some of all this energy and work with them in expanding the knowledge of the game, and also, how do you say, their understanding of what's coming and such. So I think a really big user base can be extremely valuable if you can find a good way to harness it. And I think that will also depend on what kind of user base it is. And now I'm kind of going down a path where it gets complicated. I mean, probably handling community can be, if you want to do it really well and have a big community, it's really difficult actually. And but you can get a lot out of it. I think we've managed to connect with them very well. Also taking into consideration how wide they're spread out geographically. And I think there's a ton of different ways to do this than also that we haven't done. I'm not sure in terms of user-generated content per se. We've had some like forms of that, but it's very diverse, the quality of it, I would say. So it's not always that it's super useful. It's more like the intentions and the energy in that they want to help with something. And if you can try to combine that with how do you say, something that's valuable for them as well, something that they attribute value to, and that the game also gets, I think that's a win-win solution that's really nice to find. I think that can be done in a lot of ways.
Yeah, got it. So you're considering just like one of one of the tools and also part of community building. I just wanted probably to add that what I observed that user-generated content was much more important during bull run. And I remember, for example, DeFi Kingdom, we saw tons of user-generated content on the timeline. And I believe that it attracted a lot of users during spike. And during market like that, like we're having right now, generated content is not so aggressive. So users are starting to show much more energy when they see prices going up. But I think it's everything. Track, yeah, you like we at Ladder are not building a game, but you might have something to add.
Yeah, sure. So I want to have a different perspective for that. So before I answer this question, I want to have another question. How can we build an infinity game? How can we build an infinity game? Yeah. So for an infinity game, people will stay there. I mean, more than 10 years, more than 100 years. How can we make it? How can we make an infinity ecosystem and infinity economy? Yes, I've thought of this question for long, and I think there are only a few ways. Some ways we already know, like we can add probabilities there, just like gambling. Yeah, it's very simple and just loop by loop, but people still play it. And there's probability. And second way, you can attack each other to get, and when you attack each other, do the battle with each other, both of you may lose money. Yeah, that's another way. And the third way is the user generated content, the UGC part. Yeah, because if there's a metaverse, if there's an infinite game, definitely we can do PGC, master UGC. So that's another way. And let's go back to the main topic for the ancient games. Well, that's what Mala is doing. They're building the infra, so it's easy to build on top of that. And for the ancient games, comparing to the previous Web2 games, it's easy to mod it. So it's easy to have maybe we shouldn't call it user generated content, maybe because it's like a node. It's like it's also like a project, but it's like a project on top of this a big project. Like many protocols are built on top of Ethereum on the chain. Yeah, like this way. So it's another kind of UGC. Yeah, that's my opinion.
That's very interesting angle, and putting question how to build a timeless game. I really love it, and I started to think like what games I would name timeless, and probably very few of them. I mean, there are still like RuneScape that is still alive, and some are playing it, but it's obviously in decline. But probably the only name I could name very straightforward is Minecraft. And I think that Web3 needs something like Minecraft because it is a very simple game. It was created by whom, like single developer, that's completely crazy. And it has millions of players. And again, it is a simple game. And I hope and believe that we'll have this moment where someone will build something very popular in on-chain gaming, what will onboard big wave of users. Because sometimes it's just matter of some luck or right moment and right market conditions, and I hope we'll see it in the future, like 2-3 years. All right, guys. I see a couple of speaking requests. Let's have a questions from our audience before we wrap up. Okay, Atomic. Can you speak? Hello, hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Hi. Thanks for letting me ask a question. Just I'm pretty new to all of this gaming stuff. However, really a question regarding Planet IX. A little while back in the conversation, there was talk of how Planet IX are fully on chain, etc. However, there seemed to be demonstration surrounding how much it costs them to drop NFTs to their holders. I'm trying to figure out why it's expensive to drop NFTs to their holders. Where do these costs come from?
I mean, it's so it of course depends on what you consider expensive and how many holders you're dropping it to. It is, I mean, it's something that we don't think is a significant enough cost that we can't do it for the way that our game works. I mean, it's not that is not particularly a heavy point on our end, no.
No? Okay. All right. So sorry. Can I ask? So again, you have to forgive me. I'm a little bit naive with all of this stuff. But have you guys got plans to sort of like, I mean, with the NFTs, the Planet IX NFTs? Have you got plans to do future projects or is there any plans for the future for that sort of stuff? I mean, are you planning on utilizing any other marketplaces other than OpenSea? Because I'm still struggling to get my head around OpenSea because it's really complicated and there's loads of points which sort of as a very novice NFT trader, there's loads of weak points in purchasing from NFTs from the platform. Have you guys got any plans yourselves or?
Yeah, so I mean, we are on a lot of other marketplaces. I mean, most marketplaces can just list collections if they're on chain. Then it's easy for them to pull that, and then they just need certain assets from you to make sure that with the images shows up and such correctly. But we have our own. We build our own native marketplace also. The reason we did that was because that there is often a lot of scam how to say, like scam collections popping up, and we saw that, and sometimes users get confused, and that was one of the reasons we decided to make it. Also because if we have our own marketplace, we can set the fees. So instead of OpenSea's fee structure, we can choose our own. And how our game works is that we use the fees to funnel it back into the game. So instead of giving it to OpenSea, we can actually give the fees back to the users as rewards from playing the game. We have also we have a lot of NFTs in the game. Like we have a lot of NFTs, and they have all kinds of different utilities, and they can be combined, and they can be burned, and to unlock features. So there's really a lot of things happening in this, and one of the coolest things I think I can mention for it is that the game is built in a way where there's these in-game corporations that handles various things in the game, sort of like regular companies in the real world. And each of these corporations have meta shares, and the meta shares, with those you can earn from the treasuries of the corporations. Every corporation has something that it functions that they do in the game, and they will earn revenue in IXT for the treasuries. And if you own the meta shares of these corporations, you can stake them in our GameFi on a GameFi platform, and then you can earn this. So there's already a lot of utility for the NFTs, and certainly more coming also.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
thank you
It's
for
incredible.
bringing up this topic.
The
Yeah, I can.
manpower behind this game is it's insane. It's crazy. I mean, it's the level of detail in this is, sorry, again, you'll have to forgive me as a complete novice, but it's absolutely wild. But what about cashing out?
I have to add to your previous question as well, because basically I'm happy that you brought it to the audience about trading, and it's very insightful about your experience with OpenSea, because basically what we're building at Ladder is solving this solution. Because one of the main points that I believe is that OpenSea is, and in general, NFT marketplaces are not very well usable for in-game assets, because it was originally designed for PFPs mostly and art, and for in-game assets where you have like hundreds of thousands, or even so what is pretty common for Planet 9, it is really hard to navigate. And the main advantage of automated market maker is that for user it is just two buttons, buy and sell, and you do not have to choose seller, you do not have to have these additional steps. So it's just much simpler. And also, Shrag, just saw your message. I know it's late for you, so please have some time to say goodbye for our speakers and listeners.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because it's already midnight for my time zone. I'm at Singapore. I'm based in Singapore. Yeah. So thanks for all of you guys to in this space to talk about fully on-chain games. And if you have further questions, if you have questions about NFT standard, rental NFT, and also for fully on-chain games, let's follow up on the Twitter. Yeah, and if you come to Token 2049 in Singapore next month, please let me know. We will host many side events here. We will have the full day event on 10th September in MBS. Yeah, so just let me know and join our event. Thank you.
I will. Thank you very much for joining and finding the time during so late. Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
I appreciate it.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so likely we'll have AMA for Planet 9. ZP Crypto, please go ahead with your question. Hello? All right, probably guy is already out of keyboard or just change his mind of asking question. So if no other listeners raising hands, so I think that we can wrap up. And thank you very much, guys, for joining and listening to the very end. And really appreciate our speakers joining Planet 9. You're a very lovely partner. Always appreciate you having and speaking together during spaces. And really hope to chat to you at any other opportunity person. So bye everyone, and have a good day, evening, or morning, whatever you have.
Take care, everyone. Bye. Thank you for the day.
Bye. Thank you.